Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing lately, the FBI's bizarre code name for their Trump-Russia probe, Oxford Comma. Now, on the surface, it sounds like just another quirky government acronym, right? But personally, I think there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye. What makes this really interesting is the intentional misspelling, Oxford instead of Oxford, and that zero instead of an O in comma. It's not just a typo, it feels deliberate, almost like a secret handshake among insiders. And that raises a deeper question. Why go through the trouble of misspelling it? Is it just a clever inside joke, or is there something more sinister at play? From my perspective, the theory that this was done to obscure the investigation is pretty compelling. Jeff Clark, former acting assistant attorney general, suggests that the misspelling could have made it harder for anyone to find records related to the probe. Imagine trying to file a Freedom of Information Act request. If you spell it correctly, you might come up empty-handed. That's not just clever, it's calculated. And it's a detail I find fascinating because it hints at a level of subterfuge that's almost Bond villainesque. I mean, Clark even compared it to Blofeld from James Bond, which, honestly, feels eerily fitting. But here's where it gets even more intriguing, the name itself. Oxford, why that? Well, one theory is that it's a nod to James Comey's known love for Oxford commas. In 2017, Comey tweeted about his memoir, proudly declaring, "I'm all about Oxford commas." So, could this be some kind of homage? Or, more likely, a passive-aggressive jab? Because let's not forget, this probe was launched just days after Trump fired Comey. Timing is everything, right? What this really suggests is that the name might have been a way to stick it to Comey, while also making the investigation harder to trace. It's like killing two birds with one stone, or, in this case, one oddly spelled code name. Now, let's take a step back and think about the bigger picture. This isn't just about a misspelled code name, it's about the alleged weaponization of the FBI against a sitting president. Clark and others argue that the Bureau was hopelessly corrupt under Comey and Wray, and this probe was part of a broader effort to undermine Trump. Whether you agree with that or not, the fact that this is even being discussed is huge. It's not just a political scandal, it's a test of our institutions. If you take a step back and think about it, this kind of alleged obfuscation erodes trust in the very agencies meant to uphold the law. And that's a slippery slope. What many people don't realize is how this connects to a larger trend of government agencies being accused of politicization. We've seen this play out in various forms over the years, but this particular case feels different. The deliberate misspelling, the timing, the potential motives, it all adds up to something that feels less like bureaucracy and more like a cloak and dagger operation. Personally, I think this story is far from over. As more documents are declassified and more people speak out, we are likely to uncover even more layers to this onion. And that's what makes it so compelling. It's not just a story about politics, it's a story about power, transparency, and the lengths people will go to protect their interests. So, here's my closing thought. What does this say about the state of our institutions? If agencies like the FBI can allegedly engage in this kind of behavior, how can we ensure accountability moving forward? It's a question that goes beyond partisan politics and gets to the heart of what it means to live in a democracy. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that matter.